Our next speaker is a director, producer, and author who's put Wikinomics, as it were, into practice with thousands of angels. Matt Hanson is the founder of the Visual Intelligence Agency, and his latest project is an open-source filmmaking venture called A Swarm of Angels. You too can become an angel. You invest in the project for £25, and you can have a say in everything from the screenplay to the final distribution. Matt Hanson's hoping to attract 50,000 subscribers, angels, to this cinematic collaboration. And when it's done, the film goes onto the internet for downloading and, yes, remixing as well. So here's Matt Hanson to talk about the end of celluloid.
Okay, well, thanks to Don for fantastic top-level analysis of where we're heading in terms of film in the digital age. Now, I've spent a lot of time talking about the future of film, but and writing about it as well. I've written 4 books on the topic, but I finally wanted to actually go past the talking and do something about it. And I came up with the idea of a swarm of angels. And the idea of a swarm of angels is to actually remix the whole cinematic process and ditch a lot of the thinking about what cinema is when cinema was about celluloid and look at what it is now when we don't actually talk about film, we talk about video. So usually I talk about the process of a swarm of angels, but if you want to look at the whole process of how I remix it, then there's a presentation I do about that which is online, and you can look online about that. But as today, the kind of theme is about collaboration, I want to talk about something else, which might be heresy to a lot of people. And it's the audience as a tour. Looking at the audience as something different to what it once was. Something not passive, but actually very active. And how we can create a new relationship as a creator and as a filmmaker between a filmmaker and a fan, and a creator and the audience. So I'll just give you a quick introduction to A Swarm of Angels. I wanted to make a feature film, wanted to actually tackle the 800-pound gorilla of moving image. So I had to make a feature film. A £1 million feature film, quite a decent budget. And wanted to give it away to over 1 million people because we live in the attention economy. And to paraphrase Tim O'Reilly, that the advocate of Web 2.0, the major threat to an artist or a filmmaker nowadays is not piracy, it's obscurity. So it's about actually delivering what you make to eyeballs and to audiences. So the best way to do it, to make something for the digital age, is obviously to do it online. And that's also the best way to bring audiences together and bring members together. So we're creating a global community of members. And the target is 50,000, which I think is a great number for a swarm community. But it's also a great number in terms of you can aggregate that amount of people together who are actually interested in something quite distinctive and specific. And I think film in the past has always been about, because it's such an expensive medium, is always about reaching actually quite a lot of people to make the money back. I think with disintermediation and the digital age, you don't need to do that. You can look at a much more defined audience, and really we're looking at a reinvigoration of the art house, I think. So we're creating an open source film, and we're revealing the whole process of it. How do we make an open source film? Well, really briefly, we're taking the idea of flexible digital age copyright, Creative Commons, and also looking at applying the methodologies of open source that's been so successful with technology and the creation of such things as the Firefox browser, and we're applying it to film, which has got incredibly different challenges to how you create technology, because obviously we're talking about an artistic medium, but I think that's a fantastic frontier to look at as an artist. So also riding on this idea, this meme of crowdsourcing, tapping into the idea of collective intelligence and the wisdom of crowds. But I think with crowdsourcing, particularly in this respect, if we're not looking at trying to just grab ideas for small innovations, we're actually looking at crowdsourcing a big media project. It still needs a particular vision, so it has to be creator-led but member-powered, and allowing a much larger pool of collaborators rather than a small crew to help you make the film. And the audience is obsolete. I don't think we should look at the audience anymore. I think that is, in a way, is like the death of the film industry. It's a lot of problems people have is that, all the films I see are the same now. And they're the same because, there's a big marketing machine, needing to plug into particular genres and, wanting to reach a big audience. So I don't want to look at an audience. I want to look at passionate users. I want to look at people who want to actively get engaged in and passionate about a particular film. So look at individuals with very specific tastes. And to do that, we have to create participation points for people to do that, because not everybody wants to actually create, such a big, overwhelming project. It's about creating small bits and being able to participate in small ways as well as very big ways into that. And so we're gathering together a community that are interacting through forums, wikis, through voting, and through creating small pieces of media to do that as well. So we have a lot of discussion online in the forums about how we're developing our project. We use a wiki to actually help create scripts and a knowledge base for that. And voting, if somebody's not, a writer or a painter or, a modeler, how can they actually get involved in the process? It's very simple. They can, vote on something as simple as a poster or which script outline they like, to, in the end, actually which of the two feature projects we're developing goes into production. So everybody gets a green light. So as I said, we're creating media as well as part of it, and we release that media as we go along. So we open it out to people, and people can play and interact with it. And those people who don't want to create media can find it much easier to actually build upon what's been done before, what Don touched on in terms of, the commons. Once something's in the commons, it's much easier to actually remix that and build upon it. And that's a really rich kind of thing. And it's much, obviously, turns on its head the idea of what the movie industry has done before in terms of controlling as much of the copyrights as possible, because you need to make your money back. So one of the first things we did was actually say we need to create a project trailer to do this. And so a number of members in the community came together. I oversaw this, and we did a few tests to look at. These are just very simple tests. 3D tests, and we just release them, and we get feedback through the community about them. So you have little tests. And as we build that and get feedback from people, what we're doing is we're fine-tuning what our community likes. So we're creating a film actually for ourselves, much more distinctively for ourselves, rather than for this nebulous idea of marketing and launching it to multiple territories and to particular demographics. So we release these works in progress online. A particular platform I like to use is Blip TV. There was a number of versions of the trailer, and we had a vote on which people preferred. And from that, then the actual animator posted stills of his work and created a high-definition trailer, and somebody created the trailer, the music to that trailer as well. So this is all community-generated. Oh, sorry. So it's actually just a really short trailer for the project, but it's all high definition, and all that media is actually available online.